Hi, I'm Abhishek Patel from Webbound Systems. In this video, I will walk you through the process of creating repository, getting information of existing repository, and deleting repository of GitHub using GitHub's REST API. And for that, I'm going to use the POSTMAN tool. Okay, so open your POSTMAN tool, and first step is now to create the collection. For that, click on this orange button, which is new. Click on collection and give appropriate collection name. I'm going to give GitHub API test. Click on create. Collection got created. Now I'm going to add an empty request. Add request. Give appropriate name like get repo. Save to the GitHub API test. That is the name of the collection. Now when I expand this, I can see an empty request, which is the get request. Now to access the existing repository of any account, for the purpose of testing, I'm going to use my account. We need two parameters, that is the endpoint, and the another one is the authorization to access the resource of that account. Okay, so let's go to the GitHub application, which is GitHub website, and sign in. If you do not have account, then I would suggest you to sign up. Okay, and as I already have an account, I'm going to just sign in. Okay, so I got signed in. So using the GitHub REST API, I am going to access my repositories, and also I'm going to create repository and delete repository. Let's see how to do that. So we saw, like you saw how I entered credential, basic credential, and got access. Similarly, to access these resources through API, we need authentication, right? We need authorization. For that, we need a token, and it is called as bearer token. For that, to generate the bearer token, you have to first click on this icon, which is your profile picture, and click on the settings. Now here I am interested in this developer settings, from where you can create the bearer token. Now it presents you with the two options. One is OAuth app and personal access token. I'm going to select personal access token. If you already have the access token or the bearer token, you can use it, or else you can create the new one. So before that, let me just revoke all the existing tokens. Don't want any interference. And now click on generate new token and give the appropriate name. So since we are using this token to perform API testing, I'm going to give the API testing as the token name, and you can select this checkboxes. These are checkboxes that allow your token to have the access, to have the authorization of your resource. Okay, so since I'm using this for testing purpose, I'm going to check all the boxes. That means I'm going to give access to everything of my account to this token, right? And now click on this generate token. So this token got generated, and it has access to all the resources of my account. Click on this to save it in your clipboard. Now go back to POSTMAN, and here in authorization tab, in the under the type drop down, you can select the bearer token and provide the bearer token here. Okay, this is the bearer token we are interested in. But since we are going to add further request, we want to provide this bearer token at the collection level. We don't want this step to be repeated. Okay, so click on your collection, click on three dots, edit, authorization, and type of authorization is bearer token, and give the name of the token. Okay, update. Perfect. Now get repository. Okay, so we have now authorization, and we need endpoint to access the repository. So for that, open a new tab and type GitHub REST API documentation. Click on this link, which is coming from docs.github.com, and here endpoints available for GitHub apps. So here are all the endpoints which you can try to get the information of your account, like repository and all. Now, like I said, I'm interested in repos, so I'm going to click on this repos, and I am the owner, not the organization, so I'm interested in this link. Get is the type of the request, repo owner and repo. Okay, and here you can see in this article you can have all this functionality, you can perform all these things. So I'm interested in this list repository for a user. Click on it, and this is the endpoint to access the repository of the authenticated user. Okay, and here is the example which shows you how to get the repository using curl. So copy this endpoint and go back to Postman, paste it here, and this username, give it your GitHub username. Okay, GitHub PSQ repository. Now, before sending it, make sure that you select inherit auth from parent under this drop down, because our authentication right now lies inside the collection, so we want to inherit it from the collection to the request. Send, and here we have all the repository of my account. So let's go and check home, and as you can see, HubSpot automation learn test ng, and here you will see HubSpot automation. Here this is the first repository, and this is the second one. Not second, this is not the second one. Okay, Java programmer for interview. We have this Java programs for interview, right? So here are the list of all the repository present in my account. Okay, now let's have one more example how to create the repository. So for that, again, I'm going to select the add request and give the name as create repo, save to GitHub API test, change the method to post, authorization coming from the parent, and now we need endpoint and a body. Okay, here we have this link, create repository for authenticated user. Click on it, and this is the endpoint we need to create the repository. Go back to the Postman. Okay, I need to copy this. Okay, and we need body as well. So let's see what we have in a body. So this is what is needed as a body of a post request. Body, inside the body, select this raw, and from this drop down select JSON format, and JSON format has to be inside the curly braces. Key value pair should be within open and close double quotes. Name of the repository is test Postman. Okay, alright, everything looks good. Now let's send this. Okay, 201 created. That means the repository got created. Let's go back to our account and refresh this and see if it got created. And yes, it got created. Yes, here it is, test postman. As you can see, our repository got created. You can do one thing here. Since we are using this in every request, we can make this as a variable. Copy this and variable at this collection level. So I'm going to click on edit variables and GitHub URL. Current value is this update, and now I can change this to GitHub URL. GitHub URL. Okay, similarly for post request as well, I can replace this one with the GitHub URL. Okay, repositories. Good. Now let me create one more request. Where is add request, and name is delete repo. So change the method to delete, need endpoints and authorization, which is coming from parents. Okay, let's find out what's the endpoint, but before we can add the GitHub URL. And now let's see what we have as an endpoint to delete the repository. Okay, here we have delete a repository, and this is the endpoint. Now owner is me, so I'm going to change it with my username, and repository that we want to delete is this one, the new repository that we created, test postman. Okay, test postman. So this endpoint is going to delete our test postman repository from my account. Send 204 no content. That means the repository got deleted of an authenticated user. So if I refresh this, I should not see that repository. As you can see, it got disappeared. So yeah, that's it for this video. So the purpose of this video was to show you how easy it is to create the get, post and delete request from Postman tool. So if you are considering to automate the APIs in your organization, then you can ask the documentation from the developers, and you can start using it. Okay, so in next video I will show you how to validate the response automatically. As you saw here, we are manually validating the response. That means when we get the request, we are manually checking that all the repositories are present, okay, that we are supposed to see. But in the next video we'll see how to automate this process. Okay, thank you.